Tanya from the Saved by King Jesus channel. Welcome back. This is a nice little place in the middle of nowhere we found one day. I think the power company owns it or something, but it's in the middle of nowhere. So I wanted to share a dream I had with you last night, which I found rather disturbing. Glenn and I were driving along in a rental car in a place by a harbor that I have not seen before. We were with a man we didn't know, but we seemed to know him in the dream. However, as we were going by this place with water, like a lagoon or something, this man distracted Glenn and we ended up in this lagoon where a bunch of other cars were. The car was being engulfed in water, but we found a way out through the window. Glenn went to call about the said rental car, and then these people grabbed me from this little town and took me. I found myself in this facility up on the ceiling, hung up on this pole, and there was more than just me. To the sides of me were multiple rooms, but everybody up on the pole, hanging on the pole, which they seemed to draw along with the pulley, were all sedated. Looking to the sides of me in these rooms, I heard screaming. I saw a table with a pile of limbs on it, such as legs and arms, and then I looked and I saw people getting their limbs cut off. I was the first in line and they were about to take me to this room, and I was screaming in my head, "No, don't take me," but I pretended to be asleep. I knew it was my only possible way of escaping, so I kept silent, and then they took me to this room and put me on this gurney or table, and a doctor said, "I'll be right back." To this woman who had a kerchief on her head and a mask on her face, he told the woman to cuff me while he was away, but again, they didn't know I was awake. Grabbing the kerchief on her head, I actually put it around her neck and I choked her out. I had my feet on the back of her shoulders and I choked her out till she was dead. And I escaped out of the room. Somehow I knew what they were doing with these limbs, so I knew they were going to eat them, and that they were keeping these people alive to take their limbs so that they'd have fresh meat. Sneaking out into the hallway, I saw this janitor. He had a pair of shoes he was complaining about. They were actually hover shoes, and I thought I could use them to get out of there. I convinced the janitor to let me try them. As I said, I just want to try them. And looking down at my feet, I had a nice pair of white boots on, so I said, "You can hold on to these until I get back," with no actual intention of going back. So I went into this bathroom, sat down, and put these shoes on. Couldn't figure out how they worked, but I climbed out the window. When I got outside, I realized that if you tap these shoes on each side twice, they actually hovered. So I jumped on this bridge, and then I jumped off and then flew over the water with these. And then I got on a train. I don't know where I was heading, but I decided to raise a little army, and so we went back, all of us, to actually rescue these people that were being held. And I soon realized when I got back, I was pretending to be one of them, and I had a kerchief on my own head. And I realized that these people having their limbs cut off were the undarted. And even though they were undarted, their darted family members could visit them. None of the people in this facility, including the family members, had any remorse, emotion, anything. They just had dead eyes. And then I woke up. Now, oddly, before I fell asleep, I was praying, and that's not the odd part, but I was thinking about the several mountains that the fallen angels were put into, and also a certain beast our Father created named Behemoth, and that he was also put into mountains, such as Leviathan was put into the water. There was not enough space for both of them, so Behemoth was put into the mountains, and I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, I wonder if Behemoth was put into those 7 mountains where the fallen angels were. Although that's another whole subject. But I do want to say something about this. As in the days of old, as in the days of Noah, didn't the giants turn on man, right? Because they wanted to eat their flesh, to drink their blood. And from what I can gather, that's what's going to happen. Because as I've been saying from the beginning, won't the darted blood and the pure blood taste differently? Anyways, as always, let me know what you guys think. Our King Jesus didn't bring us this far to abandon us now. You were called, you were chosen, you were knit together in your mother's wombs, fearfully and wonderfully made. We are called to serve. King Jesus bless you all.